This is the Flabbergasted Podcast, where we just can't believe you haven't seen it.
Every episode, we discuss a movie that one of us has seen and the other hasn't.
And sometimes that neither of us have seen.
Follow us on Instagram
At Flabberpod.
and subscribe in your podcast app of choice. I'm your host, Jessica.
I'm your host, Rogge.
Let's get to it.
Rogge is back. I am hosting, I guess, this episode.
You definitely are, because I didn't take notes.
Where we talk about the 2010 Ben Affleck film, The Town.
Which he again wrote.
He wrote and directed, is my understanding, and also probably produced. It's a Ben Affleck thing.
So Good Will Hunting came out in
98.
So about 10 years later, and he directed. Did they direct Good Will Hunting together?
No, they did not direct Good Will Hunting.
Oh, yeah. Gus Van Sant. Or
Correct.
Sant, depending on...
Van Sant.
Van Sant.
A proficient group of thieves rob a bank and hold the manager hostage. Things begin to get complicated when one of the crew members falls in love with her. This was directed, written, and produced by Ben Affleck. Most recently in Good Will Hunting. Here's the thing about The Town, is that Ben Affleck is a little too handsome for this role. He's definitely a little too tall. Jeremy Renner fits in. He's grungy, he is mean, he's of the streets. Ben Affleck, it is difficult for me to believe, never made it out into anything else.
Well, he tried.
He kind of tried.
He just got thrown right back in.
Because he got in fights and stuff. There's something about his face. I mean, maybe if he was ex-military and then came back and he had some PTSD because of that, but, well, he tried to play professional hockey, but he was getting in fights, and so now he's just robbing banks handsomely.
But is this not the flip side of Good Will Hunting, where Will was a smart guy and somebody noticed that and plucked him up out of his situation? Maybe not completely out of, but
could have happened if he wasn't, if maybe Stellan Skarsgård didn't catch him.
Yeah.
Solving equations.
Maybe.
He's definitely not that much of a genius, but he has more of a head on his shoulders. He has more of a head on his shoulders. He's still a good guy. Yeah.
Well, I guess that's debatable. Relatively a good guy.
He has a code of ethics in a way that everyone on his team does. So this is a movie, I didn't know exactly what to expect coming into this. I didn't know if it was going to be Dark Knight-ish, like just several heists in a row. Mm-hmm. I think I knew that there was some putting on of masks, which there is. I mean, they do that a couple of times. But I was just kind of sitting it down to buckle up for, Ben Affleck is doing something in Boston.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening here. Again, yeah. Ben Affleck is doing more things in Boston. Is this a movie that you have strong memories of having seen before?
I've never seen it before.
Oh, this is it's a double flab.
Yeah, brand new. I remember seeing previews for it and thinking, okay, that could be interesting. But I'd never actually seen it. Yeah. My big thing, like when I sat down, I was just like, okay, we'll see. Like I knew there was some kind of heisty thing and it was action-y.
Yeah.
But that's kind of it. And it didn't have enough in it. The preview didn't have enough of unique information in it for me to go, yes, want to see that.
Yeah.
But when we sat down to watch it, like we had to actually pause because I like to think of myself as a fast reader. Uh-huh. But that little blurb at the beginning, like it went really quickly. Like we had to rewind it and pause it so I could finish reading it.
We just were paused on it while I was waiting for Rachel to come into the room. So I don't even really know how long it was up there. Gotcha.
Yeah. And it was kind of interesting because they started it sort of like as a documentary type with the voices of people. And I'm kind of like, what are we?
And a couple of times they go to like CCTV footage in the bank or something like that, or they go through a camera lens, but it doesn't come back all that much. No. It's not a constant through line. Some of the filmmaking is interesting. There's choices made. Yes,
I agree with that. And that's the first, at first, I stopped because we do go through that CCTV feed and there's no sound. And I'm like, okay, wait, did we just lose sound? Because sometimes our sound bar acts up. No, it was fine. That was a choice. And I liked it once I realized that's what it was and it wasn't a malfunction of our equipment.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes when I say interesting, I mean like, oh, how interesting was that? Like, wow, unexpected. This, I don't know if I mean interesting complimentary. It's just like, oh, okay, we're just making choices sometimes.
We're making choices.
And that's fine. But that's sort of how the whole movie is for me, where I'm like, okay, Ben Affleck, we're robbing banks. And then we're hanging out in Boston. We're just hanging out in Boston.
Yeah.
And like, where is this going? It definitely wrong-footed me a couple of times because I was like, wow, I feel like this is an end of movie thing and it's happening in the middle of the movie, right? Like the stakes would go up and then back down and then like jut back up and then back down again in a way that wasn't like a traditional story arc. Agreed. Did you feel like there was almost scenes missing? Because we watched the theatrical cut. Both of us did.
Both of us did.
And there is an extended edition. So the gist of this is, I mean, we're kind of all over the place right now, but they take the assistant manager hostage for leverage or something.
Because the one guy's a loose cannon that is just ridiculous.
Yeah. Who goes way too hard. Yeah, Jeremy Renner, yeah, it's too much. He's honestly a liability, but you need someone that's willing to do the dirty work.
Yeah.
And
I mean, in my crew, we definitely need that person. No, yeah. I mean,
that's Rachel. Rachel will do the dirty work in our crew. So they take her hostage, and then Ben Affleck is supposed to be staking her out, making sure that she's not gonna rat them out to the feds or whatever, and ends up dating her and falling in love with her because he realizes the trauma that he caused her, and that sort of he feels bad a little bit, and he's kind of attracted to her,
which is crazy. Okay, hold on. One, it's crazy that they did all of this research and they didn't know that the assistant branch manager lived freaking 3 blocks from them or whatever.
Yeah, and this is the florist's fault who is the one that's supposed to give them the details and the plan, and then they execute it.
Oh, does he?
I think so. He gives them the package of here, go into Fenway. I've got all this, and this laid out for you. I think that's because it was
a special job. You got to fill in a couple of they wanted him to do.
I
thought that they planned their own jobs up to that point.
But they pay. They several times they go in and give him a chunk of money.
Well, that's because he's cleaning
which is his cut. Oh, that's not they got to clean way more money than that. I think that's his cut.
I'm sure it's part of his cut because they got to pay him to clean the money anyways. He's going to take a cut of that. Some of it is they're
paying him to do, and some of it is them buying drugs and going to the casino. Yeah. There's just a lot going on. Here's the deal. There's a lot going on in this movie, and narratively, I felt like we could have been maybe a little more focused.
I agree.
Because we get to a point where and it's one of my favorite scenes, there's a big fight between Jem and Ben Affleck. I call him Ben. I call Jeremy Renner Jem in all of my notes. And they have this big fight next to a cemetery. And it's about how Jem took the rap for Ben Affleck and went to jail for him. And so he's not allowed to just leave. And then it's also about how Ben Affleck dated his sister and is maybe this baby's dad. And I was like, we needed a little bit more of all of this. Was very B or C plot.
Yes.
Up to now. And now this is suddenly they're coming to blows over this.
They're giving you just enough to think that you might be invested, but not enough to really be invested. So you're like, I could see where he might be mad at Ben for leaving, but at the same time, you don't care enough.
We only had one scene with coked out Blake Lively.
Yeah.
Who I didn't really recognize from anything. Rachel just goes, is that Blake Lively? I was like, sure. I don't know. She is married to Ryan Reynolds, right? I don't know.
Correct, yes.
So it was those kinds of things. And then, she comes back and we're supposed to have this emotional, take me with you. I can leave too. I can become better, when you leave. And he's like clearly in love with the bank manager girl and doesn't want to tell her that explicitly.
Do you think that's a choice that there's all of this chaos because they're trying to say like that's normal in this environment?
This is a culture of this kind of chaos, I guess. And that's fine, but I don't know that it's effective in communicating a narrative to me. Yeah. So, and it was kind of effective. I mean, with Krista being sad, and it's sort of like is them trying to drag Ben back in, and like, oh, you think you're above it, but actually, no, you're still part of Charlestown. But it was just kind of, we dabbled in that. We didn't hit it. If there had been like one other scene earlier, we did see And this was Rachel's favorite. Let me see. I think I wrote down the whole line. I need your help. I can't tell you what it is.
Yeah.
You can't ask me about it later, and we're going to hurt some people. And he says, okay, whose car we're going to take?
Yeah.
Should we be doing this whole thing in Boston accents?
No, because I'm sure
All right,
I
whose
can't
car
do
we
it.
going to take? Car.
But that's probably my
whose
favorite.
car we going to take then, Ben? I don't really have a
too.
very good Boston accent. So we see how good of friends they are and how committed they are to each other. But still, I don't know. And similarly, I don't know that the chemistry between
Branch
what's her
manager?
name? Claire?
Claire, yeah.
Claire and Ben Affleck is totally believable, or like I'm buying it all the way. What about you?
The whole thing, everything you're saying, I agree with, which is why I'm like, yeah, because it's just, I'm not in it enough to be like super invested, but I am in it enough to be like super curious. But I could walk away and never think about it again, probably. Yeah,
this was a 3.5 star movie for me. It was like, this was good. Like the action was fun. The cars driving stunt. It was kind of like
that was a big
grittier. One. It's just like a more like what would it actually be like to have to torch the car? And they're talking about the switch car a bunch and stuff like that. Like kind of getting into the nitty gritty of bank robbing. And that was good.
I did specifically point out like the guy driving the car, and I was like, he's a pretty good driver because to me, that's a realistic chase scene.
Yeah.
Like we're not doing crazy things that only a stunt driver could do.
There's also a bunch of police cars. We're not just shaking one of them. You have to really think it through.
And he's moving in and out, and he's clipping a few things, but he's not like bulldozing everything.
Yeah, sometimes Jason Bourne's car gets beat up really badly right at the beginning and then just keeps running. Yeah.
So I really liked that, and I noticed it.
Yeah. I could have used that level of attention to detail with, okay, so for instance, the second bank heist. The first one is when they're wearing the like scary masks. The second one is in the nun masks.
Yeah.
And we had Ben say, I don't like it. I think we need to wait on it a little longer because we're too hot right now. And Jem says, no, we're doing it this Friday. And then Ben's like, okay.
The armored truck.
The armored truck.
Yeah.
But I would have loved 2 scenes of stakeout. It's, we're getting some rapport between Ben Affleck and Jem having Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
And them, cyber stalking this guy or like going over the blueprints of exactly where they're going to be. Like the heist just kind of happened to us.
He's talking about the heist in details, but we are not seeing any of that preparation. So it's not as believable.
We don't see any of the preparation. Yeah. I mean, we see them getting dressed up in cop outfits there for the last one.
At the beginning, he's talking through it.
The very first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's when he's just kind of talking about, I think, it's Charlestown, where the bank robbery is like the number 1 occupation. It's the most bank robbers in the world or whatever.
Yeah.
And this is sort of how you do it. But I wanted to see him sitting down. We don't spend a lot of time like in their apartments at all. I wanted to see him sitting in his crappy apartment. Actually, like, what does it look like to go over these plans?
Right.
And then like we get a very early on scene with the florist where it's almost like a mafioso. Okay, we're supposed to respect this guy, or he's just cleaning the money for him or whatever. And then when he goes in to try to say, I'm not taking this job, it's like suddenly this was almost the big bad guy the whole time.
Yeah,
and
I didn't follow that really very well.
I don't think that's your fault. I don't think that's our fault. I don't think it was
very
brought
clear.
up to us very much earlier. The name The Florist had been dropped by John Hamm earlier, which is like, okay, he's part of the whole network somehow. But the extent to which Ben goes in is like, I don't want to get someone else for this job. I don't want to do it. And he's like, no, I'm going to clip your nuts. And I'm like, why is that how we're handling this? You don't have another crew. Like someone doesn't want to do it. What? He just has to do it forever. Like,
right.
It was, I didn't have enough background with the florist to be scared of him. He's also very Irish.
Yes.
That's when we had to turn on closed captions.
A thing for
Rachel.
Boston. Like,
right. Yeah. And that's fine.
Okay. So my take on that was this is why I gathered that he was just laundering the money for the most part. Because Jem says the florist came through like fill in the blank with the next job.
Yeah. And so that next job, that's what I'm thinking is that the florist is the one with various connections.
You were thinking he's supplying
he's
all
like,
the jobs.
The florist is your boss. He came through with another bank to rob, another heist to do.
Oh, it's interesting because I thought that he had like a one-off for them is what I was thinking.
Gotcha.
So, but I don't think it's very clear either way.
Yeah, because then he's like, your daddy tried to get out and start his own thing, and so then he got Ben Affleck's mom hooked on dope. Heroin, right?
Yeah. Like,
and
just,
like,
here you go.
I just to have this reputation as a scary man that can do scary, bad things, I guess. So I don't know. You probably think we're kind of bouncing around a lot. We're just trying to get our heads around like this sort of jumbled. It's a lot of good scene. Honestly, I think a lot of the acting is pretty good. At least, especially Ben Affleck, John Hamm, and Jeremy Renner. And Dino, the other FBI guy, or he's like a more local FBI. He's in the other law enforcement guy who came from Charlestown. And then we get one scene of they, had you into their community, you're part of the community, and then you rat everybody out, and that just makes you a rat. And I'm like, why is this the first time we're hearing about this? I don't understand.
We didn't hear John Hamm address it with him either, really.
You can easily show me, oh, look, there's a picture of my dad and his old buddy Dino. Oh, Dino, what a son of a gun, and he sold everybody out.
You could easily put that in credits montage pictures of the kids growing up.
At the barbecue, right, at their house, and they're talking about, oh, don't bring his name up. You can seed it in some way. So I wonder if we did go back and watch Extended, if some of this would be in there to some extent, but... The things that are happening, they're in Boston. They're very in Boston. Like we said, there's attention to detail in the heists that make them feel realistic. It's not too slick. Ocean's 11 is almost too slick sometimes. Oh, yeah. In this one, they're almost getting caught. Love Ocean's 11, but it's a different take on it in these.
I like that they're talking about the people at the bank. It's not your money.
Mm-hmm,
just let it go, And I think it's a really interesting point of view. Also, we've got Jeremy Renner's character over here yelling, open the vault, just barking. Yeah. And then you have Ben Affleck's character that's like, take a deep breath.
Puts his hand on hers and
then do the thing. Yeah. So
he's just too tall. You can put the mask on, but when you're that much taller than Jeremy Renner, people are going to see you in a lineup and be like, it's the tall one,
Yeah. Well, how tall is Jeremy Renner?
He didn't seem that tall to me in this movie. I also like you can tell that these people care about their community, right? Jem and Ben Affleck, they speak highly of, I wish the Boys and Girls Club was back up and running. I mean, total scumbags don't care about the local Boys and Girls Club. These aren't people that are just only completely selfish, right? They talk highly of supporting your friends and not, Doug's dad is a legend because he didn't rat out all of his buddies that were on the job with him. He went to jail himself.
Yeah.
And you see him working in a community garden, and they're not trying to inflict unnecessary casualties on people. So I like that. I mean, it felt grounded. It felt in Charleston. It felt like they were of that location. We just could have had some more development. I think especially with the female characters and how much of a role they were supposed to play. So how tall is Jeremy Renner?
He's 5'9".
Yeah, that's not tall. Ben Affleck's got to be 6'3".
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he is 6'3". It's not short, but it's not tall when you're standing next to somebody that's 6+.
Yeah. That's around...
I am pretty sure.
Tom Cruise is like 5'7" or 5'8",
he's 6'4".
Right? Ben Affleck, yeah.
Oh, nope, 6'3", sorry.
Great. 6-7 inches. 6-7 inches taller. So did you have any other favorite scenes we haven't talked about?
I don't know about favorite scenes. The whole time I just kept waiting for Jeremy Renner's character to just like blow.
Yeah, I thought there was going to be a snappier snap.
Yeah. And then the other things that I noticed I liked, even though in some kind of way it felt disorganized, but the date scenes are actual date scenes.
Yeah.
Like you are seeing them going on these dates or meeting up for the coffee or doing the whatever, which I think is really interesting because you don't see that in movies anymore.
Yeah.
I don't think you see it in movies anymore. And then the other thing that's really interesting is they are diving right into like vulnerable topics for them both. And so he says something about,
because he meets her crying. I mean, they have to just start with it.
Like, and she explains, she's like, hey, got this thing that happened to me. This is what's going on. And then they just kind of start talking about it. And then she asks about his mom.
Yeah.
And he starts to blow it off. And then he comes back and like tells the story. And so I guess what I like about this is like there can be real growth when you're having fun with somebody, but there can be real growth when you're like just being vulnerable with them too. And like they started at a heightened vulnerability with each other. Now, do I believe that they're like so in love? Until the very end when she tips him off, I don't know which way she's going to go. Like, I have no clue.
Yeah, which is affecting for us as viewers because we know that Ben knows that the cops are there with him. He's got the binoculars. He's watching all of it. And so it's not about, oh, wow, she really, the decision she made to say the sunny day comment didn't impact the plot. It just impacted how Ben felt about her intentions.
Yes.
Which I think is cool because it doesn't, it's just an internal thing.
Yeah. And I think like she led them over to the window. So I wonder if that was a conscious effort on her part to like create visibility.
Did you think it was weird that John Hamm was like up on her shoulder?
Yes.
He was all on her the lawyer's there and stuff. Like, I don't think it was him trying to be, it was just weird.
I think he was trying to listen into the call, but it did feel weird.
You can just speakerphone.
Right. Why didn't we use speakerphone?
It's 2010. I think speakerphone had been invented.
Yeah.
We're 3 years into the iPhone at that point. There's multiple sex scenes for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know
Ben
that
Affleck
I needed
was like,
that either.
I'm writing and directing this movie. I'm going to have sex multiple times. Like, it's, because his abs are going for it. He looks good.
I did notice that. He's actually exercising and stuff, and you're getting those scenes, which good for him. Like, who said it? There was some movie that came out, and there were two ladies, and they're like, they were talking about how they worked really hard on toning up for the film, and like they didn't get to show it off, and they're kind of bummed about it.
Yeah.
I can't remember what movie that was, but anyways, like good for him. I lost the thread there, but then there's like
that's kind of what this movie is. I lost the thread. I don't.
And I'm like, okay, well, so FYI, there is nudity in this film.
It's brief, yeah. There's a little bit.
I wasn't expecting that necessarily either.
I think that's just kind of that's the scene, that's the culture they're in. They're robbing banks.
Yeah.
And John Hamm is voiceovering. They're going to be excited. They're wanting to spend their money. That's the kind of place they would go. What did you think about John Hamm, FBI? It reminded me a little bit of No Country for Old Men. I mean, this is a thing in heist and like crime movies, is that he's not a co-lead, but an important figure is this law enforcement guy who's 3 steps behind, and you're watching him go through the process of catching up and trying to figure out their next move. And I think he's pretty good in it.
He's pretty good in it. He is so young in it.
Yeah.
From what I'm used to seeing him as. As he's doing that voiceover, we're hearing why Jem has gone to prison, and it's because he killed this guy. And so I'm thinking, as the movie's going on, I'm thinking, oh, I wonder if Ben like accidentally killed this guy,
right,
and Jem took the blame for it.
Yes.
And then to find out that didn't happen, I'm like, oh, okay. I was committed to that until I heard the rest of the story.
That's exactly what I thought as well. And then it turns out that Jem did kill the guy, but because that guy was going to kill Ben?
Yeah. His preemptive strike, apparently.
Yeah. And that really tells you what you need to know about Jem's character. Like, that's the way he sees it, is like, he's all about like neutralizing the threat, like through murder.
Yeah.
And Ben's like, I don't kill people, actually. Like, we never see him. He fires machine guns at cops at the end when he's really desperate.
But he says, like, but right before that, he's like, hit the engine block. Like,
yes.
He's very clear about not shooting people, I guess.
And it makes sense because if you do get caught, you don't want it to be, there'd be a cop killing on top of it, or like a whole murder situation.
And they very clearly know, like when Blake Lively's character comes to the hotel, he's like, you could get 30 years just for being here.
Yeah.
Like, they know and understand the consequences, and to them, I guess, it's a calculated risk.
Yeah, you got to know all of the rules that you're breaking so that you can know if there's any loopholes and technicalities and stuff like that. What did we think about Fenway? I don't know how much you love the Boston Red Sox or anything, but I think this is very clearly Ben Affleck's like, if I'm directing this movie, wouldn't it be sick if they let me go into Fenway and go all the way through? And
what exactly are they robbing?
So that was the end. There had just been a 4-game homestand against the Yankees.
Okay.
So that means that all of the beer and popcorn and peanuts money that people have been spending, so I think it's all the cash from all the concessions take, and they count it all up and stack it.
Yeah.
Is my understanding.
Okay. That makes sense. I was like, I wasn't following exactly what they were robbing because it sounded sort of like, and it sounded like they were going to rob something else.
And that's more cash than one bank would have on hand at a time.
Yeah.
And it doesn't need to be re-laundered because none of that, there's no sequential, there's no issues with the bank knowing what kind of money that is.
So they rob the stadium and they're walking through the underground tunnels or whatever, and they get to the ambulance and he realizes that it's gone quiet. Yeah. So
because he's the smart one.
We assume that everybody that they walked past were undercover officers?
I don't think everybody that they walked past.
Agents or whatever?
I think that we did see a cop that they walked past, or at least a security guy, who is kind of on the radio. And so I think maybe they were telling him, or there's some kind of like, okay, then now they're getting past here. I mean, they wanted to just, why alert everyone if what you want them to succeed and get all the way in to get cornered. And then that way they're cornered, it's going to be easy to finish them off, They had
people hiding out in the stadium somewhere because they were come at from inside the stadium and they were posted up outside the stadium.
Do you think they already had him hiding inside, or they just let him in? I mean, there's got to be 100 side doors, right, to Fenway. That they could have just let some of them in.
I felt like that was very weird.
Because why not? If that's the case, why not flood 100 more guys in and just bottleneck them up?
Why do you have civilians? Why did you leave civilians there when you know they have assault weapons?
Yeah, I think that's the fact that we don't have concrete answers to why they're making decisions. We didn't see the planning process. We don't hear them talking about why they're going to do this versus that on either side.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be a surprise to us when we see John Hamm and all of those officers. Okay, Krista told them. And it's like, come on, Jem.
Who's telling her?
You're telling Krista everything? Yeah. That's ridiculous.
Was that Jem that told her? Who's telling?
Who else?
Like, they all know everybody's business. Why?
Because he's an idiot loose cannon. I mean, she's a druggie, and he's probably what is
you think he's the only one running his mouth?
You think it's Dez or Glone? Could be.
Or the florist? I mean,
the florist I don't think runs his mouth unnecessarily. The florist and Ben Affleck are the ones that really have their heads on straight.
Okay, so Jem's just running his mouth about...
I think that he is running his mouth saying that Ben Affleck's trying to leave town, and isn't that ridiculous, and he thinks he's better than us, and we just show him that Charlestown is his real home. And, because Krista, don't you know we're doing this big deal at Fenway, and that's what's going to do it. Like, I don't think he goes home and is like, this is what's happening, Krista. Like, let me download you. I think it comes up when he's complaining about Ben Affleck.
Okay.
Right, we just have to assume. We just don't know.
Not be talking anyways.
You shouldn't be talking. Absolutely. Would you watch The Town 2?
No.
No? It's not this kind of movie on a base level doesn't get your butt in the theater. It's not just like, it's another town. Like, that's fine. Would you watch The Town again?
No.
Yeah, I think I've probably got it. I got a handle on it.
Yeah, I just didn't follow very well. Like, it did not entertain me. It did not captivate me in any of the ways that I look for.
I liked looking at Ben Affleck. I think he's handsome and intriguing and does a good job.
It was interesting for the one time, but I don't think I need to go back for it.
Yeah, agreed.
I don't think I left anything on the table that I didn't get. I mean, there is definitely something going on. We go talk to his dad, and there's a little bit of code discussion there.
Right.
And the whole movie, you can see Ben Affleck's trying to like mitigate the risk. He's trying to make the smartest choices with the information he has. Like, he's definitely trying to just handle that in a certain way.
He's a step ahead. He knows the cop car antennas and who's FBI and who's Stadies and stuff.
And you're kind of like, why are you still here?
Right.
But he's still there because why? Why is he still there?
Unclear to me.
So I don't think we have a good beat on that. Now, we do get a little bit more insight into it when the FBI agent goes to turn Krista into an asset, right? Because basically he's saying, I know you got an oxy habit. I know you're selling it, and we could take your daughter from you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like we are taking your daughter, you know?
Yeah. But then she gets in the car accident.
He just lets her
calls
go?
him, and he makes like some comment about how she can still be with her daughter. And I'm like, no. It doesn't matter if she tells you what's up or not. You're not going to let her have her daughter back.
It feels like we missed a Krista scene. Because why not just arrest her for possession of oxy or whatever you want there in the bar?
Right.
Why let her go back to Ben? I mean, unless she's wearing a wire or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand. It doesn't feel, I think you're right. It doesn't feel like there wasn't a big twist ending. There's not like a thread that's like, oh, now that I know that, I'd love to go rewatch it and thinking about how this person's motivation was different than what I thought it was necessarily.
I like, you think that they were going to talk to her about Claire, about was she part of the heist? I don't think they actually talked to her about it.
The FBI.
Yeah. They sort of roll it around for a minute, but they don't actually pursue that. And then they realize that Ben's called her and talked to her and that she might be seeing him, which she doesn't really know either. We don't ever see her make the connection with the tattoo.
No, but it's implied, like, she does walk up behind him when she goes to sit down at the table.
But
so, yeah, there was, I mean, I had a note that was like...
There would have been something else that happened there. Like, because as soon as she found out, she was like very not okay with him.
Yeah.
So if she had seen that, there would have been something else would have happened between her and him not being okay with each other.
Because she was traumatized.
Yeah.
So,
like she's having dreams about this.
Because Jem plays it off because he knows who she is.
Yeah.
And then he's able to keep it together in a manic way, but he's able to keep it together until he's alone with Ben. Yeah. It needed an editor maybe to reassemble some of the scenes. Like
smooth it out almost.
Yeah.
Because I like that she quit her job and then she's like, I got a little bit of saved up, which is seems very not consistent with the environment that she's in.
Yeah.
They don't have any money to saved up.
Because she's not from there. She's a toonie, not a townie.
Yeah. So what makes her move there anyways?
Yeah, for the job, I guess. Bank manager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we get to the end. So they kill the one guy. And that just upsets everybody. And then what's interesting is the driver's like, okay, I'm going to go because he basically says I can afford to get sent away.
Yeah, he said, I can handle a pinch or I can take a pinch.
Yeah. So he's cool with it. But
he gets shot up.
He gets shot up. Yeah. Like
when he smokes his head on when they hit the truck and he hits. Yeah.
So that's not happening. And then Jeremy Renner's character almost makes it.
He does.
But then he just decides, like, I'm not going back. I'm just...
Which we knew. I mean, he had said, hey, I'm not going back to jail. We're going to settle it in the street if it comes down to that.
Yeah. And then you think, like, I wonder if the alternate ending was going to be him avenging Jem's... But...
Because you think that he's going to go shoot John Hamm before John Hamm can get to Jem. Yeah.
And he doesn't. And he... Very smart, though, because he's got his getaway planned, which he said you should have a parachute. You need to plan if this goes wrong.
Too heavy.
Yeah. And so he's got all this planned out, and he's out of there. But I do like at the end, and I'm going to butcher this, but he makes some comment about how, like, he can change who he is, but he still has to answer for the things that he's done. I find that, like, that was very interesting.
Yeah, there's still consequences. Did you get the tangerine?
I just thought that was a reference to I'm going to Florida, where my mom was.
Right, because he had specifically said that his mom had moved to Tangerine, Florida.
Oh, okay.
That was the town.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember them saying that, but I wasn't making the connection. That felt very Jason Bourne to me.
Yeah.
Like at the end, and I almost wondered if she would like show up. But of course she can't.
Redemption.
Because now she's on the radar and they can follow her.
Oh yeah, they might want to put her, like he says, in witness protection or something.
Or just keep tabs on her.
Yeah, keep tabs on her.
Yeah.
I enjoyed watching the movie enough. I didn't regret watching it, but it's not going down in my pantheon as something that's going to have to be rewatched. It makes me want to rewatch Ocean's 11.
Do you think there's something to this whole, like he wanted to get out, but everybody like this is just the way it is. This is sort of the expectations of the environment that he's in, is that you're going to be a robber.
Yeah, that's what I had as one of my themes was like, is this a nature versus nurture? Can you rise above your circumstances? To what extent does the sentimental attachment you have to this town keep you there?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's about, you can just look at the 4 members of the crew and you know who has that Ben's got a chance to get out because his head is on straighter than the other guys.
He's so tall.
And he's so tall. He can just see over all of the muck. And Jeremy Renner can't see the forest for the trees. So I think, yeah, it's hard to kind of pinpoint what
it's
the
about.
theme part of it that way, because he wants to. But like you said, I mean, I guess they just didn't get a big enough score between having to launder the money and you lose percentages that way, and you're giving some to the florist. He never got $40,000 enough to just move away and to hightail it. And he has some attachment to Krista and cares about the kid.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know enough about the internal lives of any of these people to speak definitively on it.
We don't really even see. We're told at some point that Jem's family has taken him in after his dad went to prison.
Where's that mom? That who he calls Ma now, and like you could do a lot with that, I think.
I think that they just left a lot out there.
Yeah.
There was a lot more they could have done to make me a lot more invested in the characters that they didn't do. But
I don't know if that was the goal. Maybe it was just supposed to be life is crazy chaos sometimes, and this is a glimpse into the complicated nature. I mean, even Dino, when the FBI is doing a brief, he's like, you need a Venn diagram to understand the relationships between these people.
Yeah. At the end, there is a blurb about how they all but ignore the good people of Charlestown, and this movie is dedicated to them or something like that.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of sweet.
Yeah, there's good people everywhere.
So, yes. So what is it about? We think it could be about really anything, but can you rise above your circumstances kind of thing?
It's about chaos and the structural disadvantages of people who grow up in poverty and loyalty
for
something.
Sure. I think loyalty too. And how do you may
trauma.
Not judge loyalty the same way somebody else does.
Yeah, because Ben says, I never asked you to do that.
Right.
He's like, I'm going to walk away. You can shoot me in the back if you want to, but I'm walking away.
Mm-hmm.
And that's tough to say to someone who went to jail for you for 9 years.
Yeah. But then that's like misplaced weight that you're carrying because you didn't ask for that.
Yeah.
Like, do you have to own it? Yeah, definitely trauma. Definitely all of that. Would I watch it again? Probably not, but it was entertaining when I did watch it. But I don't think there's more there for me to go back to.
Folks, we'd love to hear what you think about Ben Affleck's 2010 The Town.
If it's, vital that we watch the extended cut, we missed.
Yeah,
did we miss stuff?
something? Did we watch it too late at night? We didn't come in with the right mindset, something like that. Let us know what you think of our Boston accents. This was Jess was Boston accent the whole time. This was her best Boston accent that she could possibly come up with. So let us know how she did. You can go to our social media pages and we've got links on there to a bento box of links to everywhere else. And so you can just follow us everywhere on Letterboxd, Instagram, and Spotify.
And YouTube. Leave us a
Peach.
comment.
Yeah, leave us a comment on YouTube. Like, subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe.
Yeah.
And if you have suggestions for other movies that we could, and this is our first double flab. Other than the brand new, we've seen some stuff in theaters, but to go back to double flab something. If you got suggestions, we'd love to hear them. And until then, whose car are we gonna take? Whose car? All right, whose car are we taking?